Well, the new numbers are in. From the New York Post, Bud Light sales reach new weekly low following Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. That's right. Sales of Bud Light suffered their steepest weekly drop yet since the beer brand launched its disastrous tie-up with Dylan Mulvaney. In the week ending June 17th, sales of Anheuser-Busch brand fell by an eye-popping 28.5% versus a year ago, according to the most recent sales from Bump Williams Consulting and Nielsen IQ. Oh boy. Now, why could it be that Bud Light is doing worse than ever? You know, to be honest, I think the story is done. I do. And maybe this will be wrapping it all up with a nice little bow. Bud Light sponsored Pride in Toronto, and I think they sponsored it in other areas. There have been several Pride events sponsored by Bud Light. You know, at first we were talking about how Bud Light had doubled down, that they had come out in support of more of these LGBT issues, despite the fact that they were seeing a massive drop off in sales. We're now about to enter the 4th of July weekend, and they're offering free beer. That's right. Buy their beer, they'll give you your money back. Free. What we see here is, I think it's a surrender. I do. I think it's a surrender. I think it's an absolute victory. And I think it shows, my friends, get woke, go broke. When they sponsored Pride in Toronto and you had nude men in front of children, they do these events with nude people gyrating and thrusting in front of children. I'm sorry. Regular people just say enough. And I had to wonder about this. You know, these Pride events have always done this stuff. Why now? I think it's the internet. I think regular people did not know what Pride parades actually were. Now, there are cult members, default liberal types, who would just go down and join in these events, and they would just wave and cheer. And these are the kind of people that would salute Hitler. And yeah, I know, what is it? Godwin's law. All internet arguments devolve into calling someone a Nazi. But no, these are the people who would cheer for the struggle sessions in China. They have no thoughts of their own. Their heads are empty. All they know is narrative says do it, so they do. But there are free-thinking people. And I wonder if, because of the history of this nation, you have a higher density of free-thinking individualists than many other nations, thus making us more resilient to this kind of collectivist psychosis. That is, enough people will look at the video and say, I ain't having nothing to do with that. Maybe it's because the nation is so large and there are a lot of people who live in the middle of nowhere. There are more individualists who say, I know what's right and I know what's wrong. As opposed to these people you see in the streets cheering for the lewd and lascivious behavior and exploitation of children. I think most people in this country are more so like, I have a moral line and y'all have crossed it. I have to wonder about that, right? After seeing Bud Light get hit so hard, I love this one. Take a look at this from Rolling Stone. You know, we're putting a little bookend on this story because it's definitive at this point that Bud Light got woke and went broke. Rolling Stone wrote April 8th, companies that get woke aren't going broke. They're more profitable than ever. Sorry, Kid Rock. Bud Light's going to be just fine. Wow. The steepest decline in sales we've seen yet, and it has been 3 months. That's it. That's what I see. I see it is definitive. It is done. Bud Light forced to give away their beer for free. They're no longer the top brand. That's what you get when you market in this direction. So admittedly, man, not a whole lot going on in the news. We do have some political stuff going on. But I saw this and I saw these videos. I think it's important. DC Drano tweeting just a couple days ago, Bud Light does not want video of their sponsorship of a pride parade in Canada going around. No, I think they do. There it is. Official sponsor of Pride 2023, Bud Light. Man. You got to sue, right? I know that the Trump, it's what is it, America First Legal, someone is putting together a lawsuit to go after Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch for basically violating their fiduciary duty to the shareholders. We're going to see Bud Light stock tank even more. And it's not just about the fact that they're doubling down. It's about, look, June 26th, we got the previous week's sales report. and it showed a 28.5% decline. The previous week was 26.8, and then they doubled down again over this past weekend. What does that mean? My friends, it means that when next week's sales numbers come out, it's going to be even worse. Now, look, I'm not here to give anybody financial advice, but I will say I really don't understand how it is that people have held onto Anheuser-Busch stock. Seriously, I would have expected it to be down in like the $20 area by now. I'm not a financial guy. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, imagine watching the stock tank every single day, drop, and you're like, I'm going to hold on to that. You think it's going to improve? Let me just say it again. No financial advice, but I have to imagine after their sales collapse 3 months on, they keep dropping. They're no longer the top brand. And now they quadruple, triple, septuple down in sponsor pride. Okay. I'm surprised people actually want to hold on to that stuff. They even mentioned that Budweiser, not Bud Light, Budweiser dropped 12.3%. Michelob Ultra fell 4%. Busch Light, another popular Anheuser-Busch product, dropped 8.1%. Meanwhile, Modelo Especial is up 8.6. They're number one. It's amazing. Look at this. Miller's up 16. Coors is up 21.8. Yuengling Lager up 25.1. Why? Well, Yuengling came out they sponsored a venue in Bethlehem, PA that was having an all ages drag event. And they came out and said, we worked with the venue to make it 18 plus. We want responsible drinking. And we were like, hey, man, good on you. That was the right move. Simple, done, fast. Bud Light said, hold my beer. So here we are. It's not just this cart, of course. You also had this stage performance with big Bud Light banners. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that they know how bad it is. Here's the latest update. Bud Light giving away beer for free to try and save July 4th sales. They've been giving the beer away for free now, a month and a half? So I just have this question. To any of you who are holding on to Anheuser-Busch stock, serious question, not a device, it's a question. Knowing that Molson Coors is going up, that Yuengling is going up, these other companies are going up, and Anheuser-Busch is going down, who in their right mind would hold on to that stock? Serious question. And for that matter, why? I wonder. I don't know if maybe they are. Are people shorting Anheuser-Busch stock? Because I'm thinking like maybe that's something I should do. I don't know. I try to stay away from that stuff because I don't understand any of it. For the most part, like I don't know how there's like rules or whatever, and I don't want to tell anybody to do anything, whatever. So I'm not going to get involved in that. But I'm wondering, isn't this the point where people would bet on the stock to fail because you're going to make a bunch of money off of it? They're giving away their beer for free, ladies and gentlemen. A company, have you guys seen Iron Man? When in the first one, this is like 15 years ago now this movie comes out. Tony Stark announces that Stark Industries is no longer going to make weapons, and they have that scene with Jim Cramer where he's like, sell. This is a weapons manufacturer that doesn't make weapons. And then he like smashes a mug with a baseball bat or whatever. Anheuser-Busch. This is a beer company that gives away their beer for free. Why? I don't know. I'm assuming, most investors are not retail investors, though. The people buying stock in Anheuser-Busch are probably just big firms or whatever, and they don't care. And they're like, meh. They're going to lose money, but they've diversified their portfolio. So they probably are holding, Miller and Anheuser-Busch. So they're just like, whatever. Take a look at this. On its website, Bud Light debuted a $15 rebate for purchases of a $15 pack of Budweiser, Bud Light, Budweiser Select, blah, blah, blah. Per the rebate's terms of service, the discount amount will be added to be equal to the purchase price of one 15-pack of beers mentioned above, up to $15. Purchases must be made between June 15th and July 8th. The announcement comes, blah, blah, blah. Dylan Mulvaney, I love how every story does this. At this point, 3 months on, literally everybody gets it. The rebate announced for the July 4th holiday makes Bud Light beer free in some areas, as Target's website shows a 15-pack of the beer currently selling for around $12.99. The rebate will be paid out to consumers via a prepaid digital card, the announcement said. As Bud Light boycotts continue, the beer sales have seen an impact. I love it. Rolling Stone. Sorry, Kid Rock. Bud Light's going to be just fine. Well, I love this. There's a guy, the image they have is a guy pumping with a bike pump and the purple bar. It's like a rainbow flag and it's growing. Get woke, go broke has become a rallying cry, blah, blah, blah. Kid Rock. Oh, look at this. With all the companies these grievance peddlers are busy trying to destroy, it's none too surprising that some have slipped through the cracks. They say Keurig, what else do they got? Well, United Airlines, get woke, go broke, Carhartt, blah, blah, blah. You know? Sebastian Gorka tweeting, never buy Carhartt products again. Starbucks stores went on strike this past week. And the reason they did was because Starbucks ordered staffers to take down pride decorations. Now, the corporate denies this, and they never did. But workers say they were told to take the decorations down. Maybe what's happening is that many of these regional stores that have their own policies, they are the ones who said, take down the decorations. Why? My Starbucks doesn't have pride decorations. My Starbucks is in MAGA country. You think the manager at that Starbucks wants to put up the pride stuff in MAGA country? Nah, they were probably like, listen, we will lose all of our money if we do this. Just take them down. And here's the other funny thing. The people who work at the Starbucks don't care. For the most part, I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. They don't seem to care. It's all about where your store is for the most part. So Starbucks is probably saying, look, this country is not unified. There are many areas that are red and many areas that are blue. And so I bet a lot of these Starbucks that got shut down are in suburban areas that lean conservative, lean Republican. When you get videos of adult men shaking their genitals at children, you're going to see a lot of people saying no to the pride stuff. And this is where I think how I think it all happens. You have a lot of conservatives. I saw this video where it's like, I don't know exactly what it's about. Some Republican said a slur. He didn't call someone a slur. And so he's doing this big apology tour. I don't know the exact details, so I don't want to, it's just an example. I don't want to specifically single out that. Dude, so many conservatives get on their knees and they beg, oh, we're so sorry, woke left. I'm sorry I did thing. Nah, don't. I like to hope that we here at Timcast are a part of that machine that says, shut your effing mouth to these whiny loser conservatives who beg for forgiveness from the left. Because we're past that point. I'm past that point. I don't care. To be fair, I barely cared enough in the past as it was. You know, I'd be at these protests with these lefties and they'd say, hey, you really shouldn't film this. I'd be like, shut up. And that was like one of the big moments for me, honestly, when during Occupy Wall Street, I filmed these people deflating police tires and they were like, stop filming us. And I'm like, shut up. I'm going to film whatever I want. You can't tell me what to do. And this is where we're at now. Finally, regular people are just saying, shut up. I don't care. You have no power over me. Now I get it. People are terrified that the far left mob will throw a brick through their window. And so they just cry and they pray and they beg. Love me, love me. Yeah, you guys get the reference there, right? These people live in these urban districts, these urban areas, and they're scared of the terrorism. But now the movement, I think, has become so prominent. The culture war is shifted so dramatically. You ain't winning this way anymore. Here's what I see, and I mentioned it before. Look at this. Disney has lost nearly $900 million on its recent film flops. Get woke, go broke. I went and saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and it was the worst film I have ever seen, on par with The Last Jedi. And I know that there are people who are going to immediately comment and be like, Last Jedi was actually good for this reason. Across the Spider-Verse was very good. No, it wasn't. Dude, you're allowed to like movies. You're allowed to disagree with me. I'm not saying like I am the arbiter of truth on movie critique. Let me tell you, there's one scene in Across the Spider-Verse where dude's sitting there, Miles Morales, with his backpack, and it's got a hashtag BLM. Yo, the Black Lives Matter organization has been accused of stealing money and buying themselves lush properties and a whole bunch of other corrupt stuff. No one knows where the money went. They got a protect trans kids banner up in the movie. One of the main characters, supposedly a good guy, he's a Spider-Man. His character arc introduction shows him throwing Molotov cocktails at police. But more importantly, the movie was bad because it had no story. Get woke, go broke. Now, I don't know why the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is the animated ones, it was really, really good. I thought it was great. It wasn't overtly woke. We talked about how it was done right. This next one jammed in a bunch of weird woke nonsense. It wasn't overt, but it was subtle and over the top. But there was no story. Look, spoiler alerts, I guess, but there's no ending to that movie. Now, I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not being cute. Literally, the movie abruptly stops before any conclusion, and it just says to be continued. There's no ending. Random things happen, and then it just ends. And I was like, but what's the story? It was like a day in the life of Miles Morales' character. When woke people get involved, ideology becomes more important than meritocracy. So instead of taking the people who are truly good at what they do and saying, make something great, they bring in people who are not good at what they do. And they say, aren't we proud that we brought in diversity? That was one of the big stories around the Ocean Gate Titanic sub-collapse implosion. That the company hired people. He didn't want to hire old white men because it wasn't inspirational. And then the sub, they say it imploded. I guess we don't know for sure, but it makes the most sense. There was a hull breach, and then it just got crushed under the pressure of the sea. And they died instantly. So they say, look, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say those people have lost their lives. It's sad. But this is it. Disney losing nearly $1 billion. Subscribers bleeding from Netflix. This is a victory lap for all of us. Get woke, go broke. I love this one. 6 days ago, the BBC said, if U.S. companies go woke, do they really go broke? The answer is yes, they do. Now, what they'll do is they'll cherry pick their definitions and make it seem like it's not the case. That's what Rolling Stone tried doing. The BBC says in a viral video, Brie Teresi takes aims at cans of Bud Light, says go woke, go broke. I'm sorry, it is get woke, go broke. I don't know where this go woke, go broke thing came from, but it has always been get woke, go broke. I will die on that hill. I really don't care if you say get woke or go woke or whatever. But the reason why to be honest, the reason why I'm like, no, it's get woke, go broke is because there's already a hashtag with like millions of hits on it. So one of the tactics we have seen in political manipulation is to create dummy hashtags. So it's hard to search for information. If people can search for get woke, go broke and see all these millions of posts, then you see prominence, you see virality, you see opportunity. So things would happen in the past where there would be a hashtag like free Julian Assange. And then someone would create a hashtag that spelled it incorrectly, maybe on accident, maybe on purpose. And now people were using the wrong hashtag and it divides. So it doesn't trend. If 1 million people tweet at the same time, get woke, go broke, trending. If 500,000 tweet two different things, now they're competing with each other. Only one or neither could trend. You see my point? They say conservative reaction to brands, blah, blah, blah. Here's the question. Originally a slang term denoting awareness of social injustice. The word woke used by right-wing Republicans, blah, blah, blah. Look at this. They say that an analysis released by JP Morgan in May projected that Anheuser-Busch's earnings for the year would drop 26%, with sales not recovering until 2024. I don't think they will. Bud Light sponsored more pride events with naked men marching in front of children. Yo, at this point, after seeing this stuff, this is what I said the other day. I go to the casino, some West Virginian lady orders a Bud Light. I don't say anything. Now I will. I'm at the point now after seeing that where if I'm sitting down at the table and someone orders a Bud Light, I'm going to be like, do us all a favor and don't order the pedo beer. Like, you know that Bud Light paid for events where naked men thrust their junk in front of kids, right? I will say it now because I'm pissed off now. It's one thing for these brands to blindly march into the culture war and for us to be annoyed by it. Now, you know, and I know that Bud Light knows exactly what they're sponsoring. They mention Nike, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we get it. And they don't really answer the question. They say observers believe boycotts are likely to increase. They are. The tides are turning. I'll tell you why. For those that have watched all my videos on this, you know. It's the Bud Light effect. Two things happen. If you embrace this stuff, regular people are just tired of it. They're tired of it. They're sickened by it. So they're going to abandon your brand. But the most important thing, the second thing, is that young people are now seeing that if you make a video talking about companies getting woke, you'll get 1 million hits. So let me say that to all of you fledgling creators. You want to get traffic? Talk about this. That's right. Which perpetuates the cycle. Spreads awareness. Share the videos. These videos about Bud Light, about the sales, they get massive play. I did a video yesterday about the Pride Marchers. We had Elad Eliyahu, our reporter, on the ground at New York City, filming people say we're coming for your children. 300,000 hits. The video itself that he filmed has like 50 million hits. Because of this, you're going to have young people be like, how can I get attention? How can I build followers? And then they're going to see this is what goes viral. And they're going to be like, okay, that's the fastest way to fame and fortune. I'm not saying it's a good thing. In fact, it's vain. It's vapid. And this is what drove a lot of wokeness. Young people thinking they'll get clicks if they do it. Now they're seeing the inverse. So this is the end of wokeness. The culture war is shifting. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all then.